Oh my gosh. This is not the right type of lighting and sound for a celebration of our champions. There's something desperately wrong. We gotta get this alarm off. We gotta get the right light on. Mr. Bean, plug the good light in. Quick! Now we need to get the alarm off. We've got an important announcement to make. Very, very important. Herr Obermeister, can you shut off the alarm, please? You got the light, what about the alarm? Okay, that's better. That's better. All right, let's get some right music on. We do have an important announcement, a critical announcement, but we got to get into the mood for it and celebrate the champions that we have so far. Here we go. All right, let's get some lights on. Mr. Bean, plug it in till we get the lights on, please. Okay, let's get right into this. All right, here's the big deal, folks. Here's the big deal. Today is the 9th. All right, here's the big deal, folks. The contest has been changed as far as the end date. We started on the 1st of February. We've already gone through the first week, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. There's the weekend. We had Monday yesterday with no donations. Today is Tuesday, the 9th. And I don't know if we're going to have any donations today or not, but we have changed the end of the fundraiser and contest so that it's no longer on the 22nd, which means all of these days are now gone. All of these days are gone. We're now ending on the 15th, which means we only have this week through Friday and then Monday. That's it. We only have 4 more days. If you count tomorrow and you don't count today, we only have 4 more days. Monday, February the 15th, which is also National Flag Day, Family Day in Canada, and President's Day, is also now the new ending for this contest and fundraiser for the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana. This day right here is now the ending day. No longer the 22nd. The 22nd is off the board. It's off the board. Matter of fact, I'll put an X through it so you can see that it's not an option. So, we have the rest of today, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, that's the weekend, and then the 15th. So only 5 more days left in the fundraiser contest. We've revised the end date. So now the end date is going to be February 15th, Monday, instead of February 22nd. So if you were waiting and kind of planning on stretching it out and being all dramatic and getting your donation in at the last second on the 22nd, it's not going to work, because now the ending date for this contest is the 15th. That's only about, depending on how you count it, only about 3 to 4 days away. 5 days if you count Tuesday as well. So your time is drying up. If you are planning on making a donation, you only have about 5 days to do it. And especially all of you folks that are in those states that I called out already, and you're still sitting back there twiddling your thumbs, hoping somebody else is going to carry the weight for you, hoping that somebody else is going to get her done for you. That time is now drying up. It's drying up. So all of you folks on the West Coast, California, Louie and Sandra are the only ones that had enough courage to step out of the shadows and say, count me in. What about my friends over in Oregon? What about Washington State? What about Nevada? What about Idaho? What about Utah? What about Arizona, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado? What about Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas? What about Alabama? What about South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana? Where is Indiana through this whole fundraiser? My friends down at the History Museum even broadcast this on their social media, right down there in the heart of Indiana. And no one from Indiana has stepped forward. No one. You know what? That's shocking to me. That's absolutely shocking. What about Ohio? What about New York? What about West Virginia? What about Virginia? What about all my folks on the northeast corner? What about Maine, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland? All of these folks, I know, follow me on YouTube and Facebook. They all follow me in all of the states that I just named, and yet they are silent. They are sitting back, twiddling their thumbs, hoping that someone else is going to step forward for them. Someone else is going to be a hero for history. Someone else is going to be a champion for history. Folks, you got to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, as my father used to say, and make it happen in those states that I just named in particular. Those states are silent, and yet they come to this channel and watch these videos, and yet they step forward in premieres and say, hey, I'm from Vermont. Hey, I'm from Maine. Hey, I'm from Washington State. Hey, I'm from Indiana. And all the other states that I named. You know what? Talk is cheap. And we are down to the final days of this fundraiser to benefit the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana. We have basically, if you count every licking moment left, if that's a thing, licking moment, I have no idea. But we only have 5 days left. And that's counting today, Tuesday, February, whatever the day is, February 9th. We've got the 9th of February. We've got the 10th of February. We've got the 11th of February. We've got the 12th of February. And then the weekend. And then our last day, February 15th. Monday, February 15th is the end of it. And I originally said midnight, thinking those folks down at the History Museum are so dedicated, they're going to wait there till midnight for your call. That's not going to happen. You have until 5 o'clock on Monday, February 15th, Eastern Time, to get that donation in, to be counted, to get a historic brick, to get entered into my contest. That's it. At 5 o'clock Eastern, February 15th, game over. Game over. You've had more than enough time to step out of the shadows. And for any of you that on a premiere or on Facebook said, count me in as I was announcing this big contest when we hit 10,000 subscribers and you haven't stepped forward, boy, oh boy, I am going to have a cone of shame for anyone that talks the talk but doesn't walk the walk. I'm serious. I am going to have a cone of shame. So if you don't want to wear that cone of shame, if you don't want to show up at a premiere, or you don't want to pop up on Facebook and everyone's going to know that you are a talker and not a walker, you do not want to be in that crowd. You do not want to be in that crowd. I'm dead serious. So don't get the cone of shame. Step out. You got a couple days left. You've got today, possibly. No, you won't have today, because by the time this premiere goes live, those folks down at the History Museum are already going to be buttoned up for the day. You've got tomorrow. You've got the 10th of February, the 11th, the 12th, 13th, and 14th are pretty much off the table because that's the weekend. And then you've got the 15th, which is Monday. The 15th of February, that's it. 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, that opportunity closes. If you wanted to get a brick, off the table. If you wanted to get entered into the contest so you could possibly win what's behind door number 1, which could be a 222K, the featherweight of featherweights, at 5:01 p.m. on Monday, the 15th of February, that's off the table. If you in your heart of hearts wanted to do the right thing and support the History Museum so they don't end up on that list of permanently closed museums, that's off the table at 5:01 p.m. Eastern on Monday, February 15th. You've been sitting back in the shadows long enough, especially you folks that are in those states that I called out at the last premiere, and I'm calling you out again. So if you sit there silent and that deadline on Monday, February 15th comes and goes, just know I've got a cone of shame waiting for you. I've got a cone of shame waiting for you. So you know what? If you don't want to show up at any more premieres, that's up to you, because that cone's going to be waiting for you if you talk the talk but you don't walk the walk. If you show up on Facebook and you said, hey, I'm going to help out, I got this, you can count on me, and you didn't do it, and that deadline on February the 15th at 5 p.m. Eastern comes and goes, and you don't help these folks out, I got a cone of shame waiting for you. I do. Because with 10,000, actually, correction, with 10,100 now subscribers on YouTube and thousands on Facebook that love what I do and believe in causes that I believe in, if we can't do better than this, I might just give it up. I might just give it all up and go fishing, because we can do better than this. We can do better than this, folks. We really can. So far, as of the recording and the shooting and the rolling of this live premiere, these are the only champions that I've got right over here. This is it. with 10,000 subscribers, 10,100 subscribers on YouTube, and thousands on Facebook, and tens of thousands more that never click subscribe on YouTube, and yet every single month I can look at those analytics and know that I've got about between 40 to 60,000 unique visitors to that channel every month? Every month! Even with the ones that have stepped out of the shadows and clicked subscribe. Are you telling me with 10,000 subscribers and thousands of people that love me and love what I do on Facebook that this is the best we can do? Seriously? I don't buy it. I do not buy it. Not for a second. So far out of the entire state of Pennsylvania, we have sunny. Out of the entire state of Wisconsin, we've got me. Only me. Seriously? No way. Out of Florida, we've got Noel, Paula Noel. We've got Emma B. And we've got Pamela Ann. Those are our only champions in Florida. Paula Noel, Emma B., Pamela Ann, all the way down here on the bottom. What about New Mexico? All we have is Doc Roger. What is that about? The entire state of Louisiana, my friend Brian from West Point, he's the only one that said, count me in, and actually did it. What about the great state of Texas, where they do things big? I've got Emily and Veronica, and I've got my dear friend, Annette Stover. That's it. And in the entire state of Michigan, I've got Roz. Roz is the only one that stepped forward and said, I'm going to make it happen. All by herself. What? The entire state of California. Look at that. Louie and Sandra, the only ones that have stepped out of the shadows and said, count me in. Folks, we can do better than this. Really. All of the people that follow my work, 10,000 on YouTube plus thousands on Facebook. Is this the way that this contest and fundraiser is going to end? With only this board? When I would gladly take this calendar down and allow room for all of our other donors that can step forward? Because now, folks, we're not going until the 22nd of February. This contest and fundraiser has been shortened by a week, and now it's ending at 5 p.m. Eastern on the 15th of February. Same day that President's Day, National Flag Day, and Family Day in Canada. So we don't even have probably today, because by the time we go live with this, the 9th is going to be here and gone. It's going to be history. We've got the 10th of February, the 11th of February, the 12th of February. The weekend comes. That's it. And then we've got the deadline, the 15th of February, Monday. That's when this contest ends. That's it. So if you were one of those talkers, and I'm just being painfully blunt right now, if you were one of those talkers and you said, when I announced this contest a number of months ago, what I was planning on doing for the 10,000 subscriber milestone on this channel, and you were one of those talkers that said, I can make this happen. I'm going to make this happen, Scott. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And that deadline comes and goes on the 15th of February. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. You know what? Straight talking is, you're either a talker or you're a walker. So that's going to be up to you. But because this contest has been shortened by a week, because it's no longer the 22nd of February and now it's the 15th of February, I've decided that I wanted to give you an added incentive even beyond what I've already done. An added incentive, okay? So let me get these boards out of the way and I'll show you what that looks like. Because I am resolute and determined that we are going to do our best. We are going to do our best to help out our friends down in South Bend, Indiana. We are going to do our best to be champions for history, to be heroes for history. We're not going to be talkers. We're going to be walkers, okay? Especially with this contest ending a week early. The 15th of February, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, that is your opportunity window closing very quickly, okay? So what in heaven's name are we looking at behind all of my friends? We're looking at a slantomatic smorgasbord. A slantomatic smorgasbord, okay? Starting on the far right, this machine right here is a Singer 404. Singer 404 came out in 1958 and was produced until 1963. One of the most fabulous slantomatic machines for quilting and doing quilt blocks that ever has come on this earth, period. It is a fabulous machine. And I'm going to be offering that for a donation of $250 or more. If you make a donation of $250 or more to the History Museum and say to Shelby, Shelby, I'm making that special targeted donation of $250 because I want to get that Singer 404 that Scott showed on that last premiere. It's got to be at least $250, okay? And if you make a $250 donation, you're going to get the entries into the giveaway that would be appropriate for that number. So you get one entry for the first 100, and then you would get 3 additional entries for the other, 150, 103. Yeah, I think that's right. Oh, I wish I were a mathematician. Let me check it because I don't want to misquote it. Daggone it. Daggone it. Okay, so $250. So the 100, and then you got the extra 150. I want to make sure I did this right, folks. There's 3, there's 1. Yes, I did do it right. So you get, not only do you get a fabulous fully restored 404, again, this machine was only made, it was only made from 1958 to 1963. So you make a $250 donation, you call Shelby up and say, Shelby, I'm making a $250 donation for that 404 that Scott presented in that premiere. And along with that, you're going to get 4 entries into the contest. 1 entry for the first $100, and then 3 additional entries for the other $150. Okay? So that's a total of 4 entries. The next machine right here is the Singer 403. I should say the 403A. A! So the Singer 403A was made from 1958 to 1960. And it does all kinds of stuff with a combination of the cams that can be put into the machine. It's got needle position, it's got straight stitch, it's got zigzag. It will dance across any project that you have. And again, it will be fully restored. And all of these slantomatics that are available for a donation right now will also come with a limited lifetime warranty on top of that. Okay? Now, because we've stepped from the 404, which is the one on the far right, to the 403, which is going to give you a lot more bells and whistles, that's going to require a $300 donation. A $300 donation. You call Shelby up and you say, Scott presented a premiere. If that 403A is still available, I want it. And I'm going to make a $300 donation to get that 403A. I would normally sell a 403A for almost $500. So you are getting a deal. You are getting a deal at only $300, and it's a donation to the History Museum. And that $300 donation is going to get you a total of 5 entries into the contest. The contest, again, if you're brand new to this, if you get picked for the contest, There's basically going to be all the people that have made donations, all those names are going to get it dropped into a hat or into a bucket. If your name gets pulled out, you've got a choice. You can either pick behind door number 1, which could be a 222K, the featherweight of featherweights, the free arm convertible version of the featherweight, which is estimated in value to be somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000. Now, that's not a guarantee. I've said this again and again and again and again. It's going to be a Scottish machine in honor of J.D. Oliver. J.D. Oliver, again, is the magnet that developed a really cool chilled plow that just revolutionized the way farmers were able to do their work. And that's what made J.D. Oliver's millions. So you can make that choice if you win the contest of picking what's behind door number 1. It's going to be a Scottish machine. It's going to be fully restored. It's going to have a limited lifetime warranty. It could or it could not be a featherweight convertible, a 222K. Or you can go with the sure thing behind door number 2, which is going to be a fully restored 201-2, the Rolls Royce of Singer sewing machines, the same machine that J.D. Oliver and his family had in their mansion when I toured that incredible Oliver mansion in South Bend, Indiana with Skylar. Copsha home, named after a small village in Scotland. So that's the big deal here, folks. This is my last hurrah, recognizing that the contest has been shortened by a week, that it's been moved from the 22nd of February to the 15th of February. We've shortened the contest and the fundraiser by a week, so I'm giving you even an additional reason to look at helping these folks out in South Bend, Indiana, so they don't end up on that list of permanently closed museums. Right? We don't want that to happen, not on our watch. We don't want that to happen. So you have another incentive now with all the other incentives that you already have, helping out an incredible organization that needs our help. Getting entered into a contest where you could either win, potentially behind door number 1, a featherweight convertible, a 222K, worth somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000. Or for sure, behind door number 2, you could win a Singer 201-2, fully restored from Scott's workshop, that is the Rolls Royce of Singer sewing machines. If those aren't drivers to step out of the shadows to make something happen here, then I'm giving you an additional one now. I've already introduced 2 of these incredible Slant-O-Matics that I'm putting up to be yours if you want them for donation. Again, you can either pick the 404 right here, which is a straight stitch only machine, a machine that quilters would give their left arm for because it's got so many pluses. Harp space, it's got that slant needle so you can see where those stitches are being laid down. It's got a throat plate that raises so you can do freehand and free motion quilting. It only weighs 5 pounds more than a featherweight, for goodness sakes. Now, if you say, well, that's a beautiful machine, I'm thinking about it. But tell me about that other machine again. Tell me about that second machine from the right. This one right here. Okay. That's a 403A. Made only from 1958 to 1960. It can take cams. It's got needle position. It's got straight stitch. It's got zigzag. It's got anything that you could possibly want. And all you have to do is make a $300 donation. All you have to do is call Shelby up and say, okay, I want that 403A if that's still available. The one that Scott talked about that was made from 1958 to 1960. I want that machine. Shelby says, yeah, it's still available. You make a $300 donation, you get that machine, and plus you're going to get 5 entries into Scott's contest to win what's behind door number 1 or door number 2 if your name gets picked. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. It doesn't end there. I think by nature, I probably am a Texan. You know why I think I'm a Texan? Because I do everything big. I could just end it right there and say, I'm offering a phenomenal 404 right here that any quilter would give their left arm for. It's a beautiful machine. It's 5 pounds heavier than the featherweight. You could pick it up with 2 fingers. And yet, it's got a vertically mounted motor that is equal to the same size, plus it's got direct drive. It's got the same size motor as a 201-2 or a 1591. This machine right here has 0.6 amps of power, plus you never have to add a belt to any of these machines. All of these Slantomatics are gear-to-gear driven machines, which means you've got immediate power, you've got immediate burst when it comes to any sewing project that you're doing. You want to talk about a machine that will blow your socks off? All 4 of these machines will do that. All right, I know I'm all over the place, but I'm excited about this new incentive to help our friends out in South Bend, Indiana. I've already named all the other incentives. You know those by rote. So again, the 404 0.6 amp motor, direct drive, straight stitch only, made from 1958 to 1963. You make a $250 donation, this machine is yours. Plus, you're going to get 4 entries into my contest where you could potentially win a featherweight 222K valued at somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000. Or you could win the same machine that the Olivers used in their mansion, the 201-2, the Rolls Royce of Singer sewing machines. Okay? This machine right here, again, the 403A. The 403A was made only from 1958 to 1960. It also comes with a 0.6 amp motor, direct drive, gear-to-gear drive, plus it's got zigzag, it's got needle position. You can add cams to it if you want to. It's got that slanted needle bar so that you can see those stitches being laid down beautifully, whether you're doing quilting, whatever sewing you're doing. That machine is going to get the job done for you. And you can get that machine by just calling Shelby up and saying, Shelby, if that 403A made from 1958 to 1960 is still available, I'd like to get it. She will take your $300 donation, and you are now the proud owner of a 403A. Our next machine, right here. This hardly even needs an introduction. I've shown this machine on this channel multiple times because it is a miracle of engineering. Not only can this 401A that was made from 1956 to 1961, not only can that machine take cams, but it's got a ton of decorative stitches engineered into this machine. It is absolutely mind-blowing what this 401A is capable of doing. Plus, it has all the other attributes of the other Slantomatics. Beyond that, all the other attributes, it's also got a bigger motor. It's got a 0.9 amp motor. 0.9 amps compared to 0.6, 0.9 amps for this 401A. Plus, you can do all the decorative stitches that are engineered into it, or you can add cams. It's going to have that slanted needle bar so you can see those stitches getting laid down. It's got that throat plate that raises so you can do free motion quilting. And the list goes on, along with that positive traction, direct drive, gear-to-gear powerhouse of a machine. This machine, because it is the cat's meow when it comes to the Slantomatic family. I mean, it's got bragging rights. You're going to have to make a $400 donation. I normally would sell a 401A fully restored for almost $600. This 401A can be yours for a donation of only $400. You call Shelby up, you say, Shelby, I want that 401A if it's still available. She will take your $400 donation, and that machine is yours. That machine is yours. Plus, and I've got to check my math here because I will probably otherwise get it wrong. Hold on a second. what is this? $250, another $150, 300, 400. Okay, so here's the deal. I just checked my math. I hope I got it right. Okay, hang on to your socks for a second. If you make a $400 donation for this 401A, made again from 1956 to 1961, again, it's got a ton of engineered stitches in the machine. You never have to add a cam, but you can add cams on top of it. Plus, it's got all the other features and benefits. And we're going to come off the tripod and look at all of these machines closer up in just a little bit, okay? In just a little bit, we're going to do that. But you make a $400 donation for that 401A. This one right here, the third machine from the right. You're going to get a total of 7 entries into the contest where you can potentially win that 222K behind door number 1 or another incredible fully restored Scottish machine, or for sure if your name ends up getting pulled out of the hat. And let's face it, folks, the more time that your name is in that hat, the more entries you get, the greater likelihood that you're going to end up getting your name picked out of there. And if you make a donation of $400 to Shelby at the History Museum for this 401A fully restored, you're going to get a total of 7 entries into the contest. 7, count them, 7 entries into the contest. That is crazy, crazy. So that is the third machine from the right. Now let's talk about the last machine, right over here. One of my favorite machines because it is so, shield your ears, kids, it is so sexy with its lines, the way it was made. It is a rocketeer, some people call it. I call it a cruise liner because it is just long and lanky and woo-hoo! Look at that baby. That's the 503A, folks. The 503A was only made for 3 years, from 1961 to 1963. And that's going to be in the same class as the 401 when it comes to what that machine can do and just the incredible intrinsic value of this machine. So that 503A is also available, and it's going to come with all the original cams on top of it, that 503A. All the original cams. Matter of fact, I'm going to show it to you right now. This right here. Okay? That is a complete set of cams for the 503A. And I think I also have an owner's manual for it as well. Okay? So that is going to be a cat meow machine, and that's going to be in the same class as the 401A. You make a $400 donation. Make a $400 donation to Shelby at the History Museum, and you will be the proud owner of this 503A. Again, it was only made from 1961 to 1963. Other than the 500A, it's one of the shortest runs of any of the Slant-O-Matic machines, which right away raises the intrinsic value of that machine. I mean, the entire value, the package of that machine is just through the roof on that 503A, because you're getting a fully restored machine that can do, I mean, incredible things. Plus, it's got that 0.6 amp direct drive gear-to-gear motor. All of these machines, all 4 of these machines never, ever, ever need a belt. They all are gear-to-gear, direct drive, gear-to-gear, direct drive. Again, the 401A is going to have a slightly bigger motor with 0.9 amps. All the others are going to have 0.6, 0.6, 0.6 amps. 0.6 amps, again, is the same size motor that the 201-2 comes with, the Rolls-Royce of Singer sewing machines. So that is a huge motor. Look at any of my videos on this channel and watch what a 0.6 amp fully optimized motor will do. We're talking 12, 14 ounces of leather like a hiccup. And that's the thing to really emphasize about these machines. These machines, all of these machines, are only a little bit heavier than a featherweight. The 401's got more engineering in it, as does the 503. So, excuse me. So these are going to have a little bit more weight, probably going to come in right around 18 to 20 pounds. These machines right here are going to be right around 16 pounds. This one and this one. So these machines right here, the 404, the 403A, are only going to be about 5 pounds heavier than a featherweight. These are going to be just slightly heavier than a featherweight. So that's another incentive. When you talk about a lightweight, easy to move machine, portability, taking it to quilting retreats, taking it to quilting expos, making people drool as they look at that slant needle design and go, oh my gosh, you can see those stitches so much easier than a straight needle bar going up and down on these machines. You've got direct drive. You're never going to have to replace the belt on these machines. Plus you get that positive traction when you're launching into heavier sewing, whether it's multiple layers of quilt batting, whether it's multiple layers of leather. All of these 4 machines will sew leather, they'll sew canvas, they'll sew upholstery material, they'll sew pretty much anything you can fit underneath that presser foot. They're going to get the job done after I've gotten done with them in the workshop. And a lot of these machines, you can watch them perform on this channel. I presented most of these machines before on this channel. I believe all of them, actually. So what you should be saying to yourself right now is, I'm without excuse. I am without excuse, because I believe in helping people that are champions for history. People down in South Bend, Indiana, that reached into their own pockets to buy a number of the artifacts that I had a chance to examine when I was down there visiting them at the History Museum. These are folks that don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk. They reach into their own pocket and they add to that Singer collection of theirs and to their other vintage items that are sewing related, because they believe in the value of those artifacts. They believe in that space that all of us say that we love so much. So first and foremost, you should be stepping out of the shadows, especially those states that I've called out, and you should say, yeah, I want to be a champion for history. Yes, I want to be a hero for history, because those folks down in South Bend, Indiana, they don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk, and they bought a number of those artifacts that Scott had a chance to examine out of their own pocket so that they would have a more robust vintage sewing machine collection for either Scott or anyone else that travels to their museum to have the privilege of examining those artifacts. That's first and foremost, helping a great organization. Number 2 is, you can also, and I didn't even mention this about this special incentive that I'm bringing in the final days of this fundraiser. Anyone that makes a donation, as I've outlined, for one of these incredible Slant-O-Matic machines is also going to get a brick. A 160-year-old brick with a certificate of authenticity, plus my dear friend Paula Noel from the great state of Florida is coming up with an additional cool historic type tag that she's going to be designing herself. And I've already posted those on Facebook. If you haven't gone there and looked at them yet, doggone it, do it, so that you can vote and help us pick out which of the tags is going to go with these bricks. Have a voice, for goodness sakes. Step out of the shadows. Make that happen as well. So not only do you help a great organization, but anyone that makes a donation, as I've outlined, for one of these Slant-O-Matic fully restored machines, again, with a limited lifetime warranty, they're also going to get one of these historic 160-year-old bricks on top of that, with a certificate of authenticity, with an incredibly cool tag that Paula in part is designing with a vintage typewriter. Tom Hanks, eat your heart out, buddy. And if any of you are saying, well, what's the big deal about Tom Hanks? Several months ago, I prepared a sewing machine for Tom Hanks. The Tom Hanks, who also collects typewriters. And that's why I said, eat your heart out. Eat your heart out, Tom Hanks. Yeah. So that's another incentive right there. And then on top of all of that, you get entered into the contest so that you could potentially win, as I've said a billion times already, you could potentially win behind door number 1, a Scottish machine, which could be a 222K, the featherweight of featherweights. And a featherweight coming out of this workshop, a 222K, is going to be valued somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000. Folks, I don't know what else I can do. Even if I do a song and dance, it's not going to be better than what I've already offered you. And beyond all the things that were already on the table, now, in the final days of this fundraiser, you've got the option to make a direct donation for one of these machines. And not only do you get a fabulous machine, not only do you get a historic brick with a certificate of authenticity and one of Paula Noel's super cool tags that's going to go with it as well, but you also get entered into the contest. You also get those entries that are associated with that donation. So you could do the math. This one right here, $250 donation. Okay? I think it was 4 entries. Is that right? I believe it's 4 entries. Pretty sure. This machine right here, I think I said $300 donation. Whatever I said, $300 donation, I'm 99% sure. $300 donation for this 403A, and you get the appropriate number of entries for this. I'm just double checking my math here. You get 4 entries for this because it's a $250 donation. You do a $300 donation, you're going to get 1 additional entry. Yeah, $250 to $300, 1 additional entry. So you're going to get a total of 3, 4, 5 entries. 5 entries if you make a $300 donation for this 403A. And then we've got these machines over here, the 401A. The 401A is a $400 donation. And that's going to get you a total of 7 entries, just like the 503A will get you a total of 7 entries if you make that donation for this 503A. 7 entries, $400 donation, $400 donation, $300 donation, $250 donation for this 404. Okay? Folks, these machines should be gone in a heartbeat. You already know that I have the best machines in the world. So you can't compare that 404 or that 403A or that 401A or that 503A to any other machine offered anywhere in the world. You're going to get a machine that has been gone through by, from bobbing the balance wheel. It's going to come with a limited lifetime warranty. It will have been prepared and optimized in Scott's workshop. So I'm hoping that with this final incentive, with this contest now ending on Monday, February 15th, if you have stuck in your head the 22nd of February, unstick it from your head right now, because the contest is ending a week early. The contest is ending on Monday, February 15th. That's it. 5 p.m. Eastern Time, February 15th, game over. If you wanted a brick then, and it's 501, sorry. If you wanted to help a great organization, well, you could probably still do that. Obviously, you can still make your donation after the contest and fundraiser, but all the other drivers and incentives are gone. The 160-year-old historic brick, if you call after the contest fundraiser is over on the 15th of February, 5:01 p.m. Eastern Time, no brick. If you were hoping to get those entries so that you could win potentially a featherweight 222K behind door number 1, or a Rolls Royce of Singers behind door number 2 for sure, the 201-2, game over. That's off the table. So you can always step forward and help out the folks at the History Museum. You could always do that. But if you wanted a brick, if you wanted to get entered into the contest so you can win a fabulous fully restored Scottish machine or a 201-2, 5:01 p.m. Eastern on Monday, February 15th, it's off the table. No brick, no entry. But if you step forward in these final days, before that bell rings, on February 15th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and the contest is over officially, you can reach out to Shelby and say, Shelby, I am a hardcore quilter, and the machine that I'm using is super heavy. It's difficult to take to quilting retreats. It's difficult to take to quilting expos. I want that Singer 404 that Scott talked about, if it's still available. And if it's still available when you call, Shelby's going to say, not a problem. You make your $250 donation, and that 404 that Scott showed you on that premiere is yours. That 404 is yours. And just a quick little test for my students in the classroom. What years were the 404 made? What years? What's that manufacturing bracket for this machine right here, the 404? Type it in the chat right now. Type it in the chat. And if you get it right, you're going to get an A for the class today. You're going to end up on my favorite student list. And I might even add to that, that I'm also going to send you something special. So type that in the chat right now. So again, a $250 donation for this incredible 404 right here. Only 5 pounds heavier than the featherweight. A quilter's dream machine. And it's yours if you make a $250 donation to Shelby at the History Museum. All you got to do is make a donation. Okay? So if you didn't type it in the chat yet, too late. The 404 was made from 1958 to 1963. If you got it right, highlight that for me, because I'm not looking at the chat right now. Highlight that for me, and if you were the first one to get that correct answer on the 404, the manufacturing bracket years for that machine, which again was 1958 to 1963, then highlight that for me. And number one, you get an A in class, you get on my favorite student list, and lastly, I might send you something special, okay? So don't let that slip by. Our next machine, the 403A, again, needle position, straight stitch, zigzag, can take a wide array of cams and generate all kinds of crazy, fancy, decorative type stitches. Plus it's direct drive, plus it's 0.6 amp motor, just like the 404. Same size motors on this machine, this machine, this machine. Again, this machine, the 401A, is going to have a slightly bigger motor. But let's focus just on the 403A. All you have to do is call Shelby up and say, I have been wanting a 403A and one from Scott's workshop. That is the cat's meow. And Shelby's going to say that machine is still available. I hope she says that. If she doesn't, then somebody's already scooped it up. But that 403A is yours for a $300 donation. A $300 donation, that machine is yours. So it's that simple. Plus, with a $300 donation, and I'm going to check my math here because otherwise I'm probably going to get it wrong. See, that's 250. You're going to get a total of five entries if I did the math right. So with this machine, you're going to get 5 entries into the contest, where behind door number 1 you could win potentially a Singer 222K, the featherweight of featherweights, or another fabulous Scottish fully restored machine. Behind door number 2 you could win a 201-2, the Rolls Royce of Singers, with a simple $300 donation for this incredible 403A. Again, both of these machines, all of these machines, come with a limited lifetime warranty. That means if you don't throw it out a window, drive it over with your car, beat it to death with a sledgehammer, you know, I'm pretty much going to cover that machine, bobbing the balance wheel, for the time that you own that machine. Where else are you going to get a guarantee like that? Seriously. So 404, the 403A, $300 donation, $250 donation, and now we're finally, oh, I apologize, rewind. The 403A post in the chat what the manufacturing bracket is for that machine. When did they make the 403A? I've already said it a couple of times. See if you can post that in the chat. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get a quick drink of water because my throat is feeling a little bit gnarly. So type it in the chat. You either know it or you don't know it. And if you get it right, if you're the first one to post the correct manufacturing bracket for the 403A, number one, you're going to get an A in the class. Number two, you're going to be on my favorite student list. Basically be a teacher's pet in a sense, although I don't like that phrase as much. And also, you might get something special if you flag it for me. So be the first one to enter that, and you have all kinds of pluses that you could get out of that. So, all right, I think you've had enough time. I think you have, unless you're a real slow typer. So the 403A, if you typed in the chat that it was made from 1958 to 1960, then you nailed it. And if you were the first one to nail it, then you get an A, you're on my favorite student list, and you might get something special if you flag it for me. So do that. Again, a $300 donation for this 403A is all it takes to claim this machine as your own. $250 donation is all you need to do for this 404. Again, the donation amounts that I'm asking for these machines is way below what you would be paying me if you bought this fully restored machine from the workshop. So I'm giving you an additional incentive by making the donation to the History Museum. I'm giving you the machine for a lot less than you otherwise would have to pay for it. How about our third machine? Our third machine right here. What I would consider one of the most fabulous machines that Singer ever made. Certainly one of the most fabulous slant-o-matic machines that Singer ever made. Again, it's got a ton of stitches engineered into the machine already. Plus, you can add cams to it on top of that. Plus, it's going to have that slanted needle for better visibility when you're stitching different projects. Plus, it's going to have that throat plate that raises for free motion quilting and freehand embroidery. It's got that direct drive motor, the largest motor in the slant-o-matic class family, with 0.9 amps. Again, direct drive, no belt ever needed on any of these machines. Gear-to-gear drive on all four of these machines that I'm offering for you to be able to get by making a donation to the History Museum. Now, because the 401A is really, I mean, it's just a cat's meow type machine. All of them are, but this one's got a lot more bells and whistles on it. You've got to make a $400 donation to get that 401A. It's got to be a $400 donation. I would charge a lot more than that if you contacted me and said, Scott, would you prepare a 401A fully restored for me? You're going to be paying a lot more than $400. So again, you're getting a heck of a deal by making a donation directly to the History Museum of $400, and you're going to be getting a fully restored 401A with a limited lifetime warranty that's just going to blow your socks off when it comes to its ability to sew leather, to sew canvas, to sew anything you can fit underneath the presser foot. That 401A and the other slant-o-matics are going to blow your socks off as to what they can sew. Again, because all of these machines are at a near featherweight weight class. These two right here are going to be only about 5 pounds heavier than a featherweight. That's like 16 pounds. Featherweight comes in at 11 pounds. These are going to be a little bit heavier, the 401A, the 503A, because they've got a little bit heavier engineering in them. But they're only going to be a little bit heavier than a featherweight. So that's another driver for these machines. So the next question for you guys is, what is the manufacturing bracket for the 401A? Type it in the chat. Again, you're going to get an A in the class. You're going to get on my favorite student list. And you might get something special if you're the first one to do it. If you flag it for me and say, hey, Scott, I was the first one. I nailed it. Would you consider possibly sending me something really cool? If you do that, if you reach out to me that way, 99% sure I'm going to send you something super cool. And I don't send little trinkets. Ask anyone that's ever gotten one of the impromptu contest type gifts from me. It will blow you away what I end up dropping into the mail to you. It will blow you away. Plus, like all of the other donations for these slant-o-matics, You're obviously, when that machine ships out, you're going to get a brick with it. There's going to be a brick included in that tote, and maybe some other goodies as well. And most importantly, you're going to help a great organization. We don't want the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana, to end up on that permanently closed list, do we? No, of course not. And that's why when I chatted with Shelby and we kind of agreed collectively that we were going to shorten the contest and take it from the 22nd to the 15th, I said I want to even offer more incentives now for people in these final days to make a donation to the History Museum, to get a historic brick, to get entered into the contest. So that's why I decided to set up this slant-o-matic smorgasbord that someone can scoop up these machines for a fraction of what I would normally charge for them if you bought them directly from the workshop. So back to the 401A. If you typed in the chat that the 401A was made from 1956 to 1961, then you nailed it. So if you were the first one to do that, you get an A in the class, you get on my favorite student list, plus if you reach out and you're real nice, I'll probably send you something super cool on top of that. Okay? So review again, because in class you review things, right? We're in class, right? Yeah, we are. We're in class. No, that's not the end of class. That's just for symbolic reasons to signify that we're in class. So don't get up out of your seats and start leaving. We're not done yet. So for review again, you make a $250 donation for this incredible Quilter's Dream 404 that again was made from what year to what year? 1958 to 1963. If you type that in the chat that quick, you are one of my favorite students ever. $250 donation. If you want the 403A, $300 donation. If you want the 401A, $400 donation. Again, those prices for making a donation and getting one of my fully restored machines are way below what you would pay if you came directly to me. So $250, $300, $400, and finally we're moving on to, last but certainly not least, what I would consider one of the sexiest machines that Singer ever made, and just phenomenal when it comes to what it can do. The 503A, just an absolutely drop-dead gorgeous machine. So for the 503A, it's the same donation level as the 401A. $400. This incredible drop-dead gorgeous sexy machine is yours, just for a $400 donation. Now in the chat, type in the chat, what was the manufacturing bracket years for the 503A? What were the manufacturing bracket years? I'll give you a little bit. I'll get another drink of water while you're typing that into the chat. Okay. You're only typing really four letters or four numbers, excuse me, and maybe a dash. So you should have it by now. So the 503 was manufactured from 1961 to 1963. That's a real short production cycle. Really, all of these have fairly short production cycles. They really do. I mean, the 404 on the far right was only made from 58 to 63. The 403A from 58 to 1960. The 401A from 1956 to 1961. The 503A from 1961 to 1963. These are incredibly, from a standpoint of production years and overall production size, these are incredibly rare machines. They truly are. Not to mention, again, all the attributes of incredibly powerful motors, direct drive, positive traction, and being in a weight class that is measurable to a featherweight. Measurable to a featherweight, folks. So you can look at these machines and go, holy mackerel, they've got incredible power. Power equal to a 201-2, but they're direct drive. They're never going to need a belt. And yet they only weigh somewhere between 5 to 8 pounds more than a featherweight 221. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, and plus, on all of these machines, when you make a donation, whether it's the 404 for $250, whether it's the 403A for a $300 donation, the 401A for a $400 donation, or the 503A for a $400 donation, all of these, you're going to get entries appropriate to the, again, my simple math equation that you can do yourself is the initial $100, you get one entry, and then every amount beyond that in $50 increments, you get additional entries. Does that make sense? So here you're getting 4 entries for $250 donation. This one is going to give you 5 entries. And these two over here are going to get you 7 entries with a $400 donation. That's just mind-blowing. Honestly, you can look at any other venue that offers machines, and number one, you never know what you're getting there. Here you know that machine has been gone through under a microscope, and it comes with a limited lifetime warranty. Plus, you're making a donation for these machines that's well below what I would charge coming out of this workshop. And again, beyond all the dollars and cents stuff, you're making sure that the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana, that treated me with so much generosity and time and grace and kindness, that they never end up on that list of permanently closed museums. That they never end up on that list of permanently closed museums. That's really the big driver of this entire initiative. And even when it was going to be going until the 22nd, that was the entire focus of everything. Now it's ending much earlier. Again, change your mindset. The contest is ending now on Monday, February 15th. That's it. 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That door of opportunity closes. That door is no longer open. If you wanted a brick, sorry. If you wanted to get entered into the contest, sorry. So don't let that happen. Don't let this time out. And all of a sudden you go, I really, really wanted to help. Number one, I really wanted to help. I wanted to make a difference. I really wanted one of those bricks. I really wanted to get entered into that fabulous contest. Even the thought that I could win a Singer 222K from Scott's workshop, which I already know, the basic bare bone ones that we don't know what's good about them, what's bad about them. They're wanting $2,500 for those 222Ks on eBay. Those are ones you got no guarantee. You got no limited lifetime warranty. You got nothing. You got nothing. And you don't know what you're getting. If that machine behind door number 1 ends up becoming a 222K, you're looking at winning something potentially that has a value of $3,000 to $5,000. That's what a 222K is worth coming out of this workshop. Other than just craziness and not being willing to put your life on pause for a few minutes to talk to Shelby at this number right here, 574-235-9664. I got nothing else I can offer you at this point. They say you've got to be generous, but don't give the shop away. I've literally given the shop away here, folks. Number one, I'm offering the machines that have been a part of this contest from the very beginning, a Scottish machine behind door number 1 and or a 201-2 behind door number 2. I'm paying out of my own pocket to send these bricks all over the country for all of our generous champions that have already stepped forward. I made a personal donation to the History Museum as well. And I'll just say, without saying the amount, it was more than the basic amount. Plus now, I'm reaching into my personal collection and I'm pulling out 4 of what I would consider to be 4 of my prized machines. The 404 the 403A, the 401A, and the 503A. These are machines that are in my personal collection, and these are machines that I never ever planned on parting with. I get inquiries all the time about 503As, and my answer is pretty much the same every time. I've got one in my personal collection, but it's not for sale. I get inquiries all the time about 401As, especially as people watch the videos on this channel highlighting what 401As can do. And my answer is pretty much the same every time I say to these folks calling about wanting one of my fully restored 401As, which is light years beyond what you can get anywhere else with a 401A. And my answer is pretty much the same every time. I've got a 401A in my personal collection, but it's not for sale. I get inquiries all the time for 403As. This machine right here. My answer is the same every single time. I've got a 403A in my personal collection, but it's not for sale. I get inquiries all the time from quilters that know how fabulous a 404 is. The one right over here on the far right. This one right here. They know that it only weighs about 5 pounds more than a featherweight. They know that it's got about 2 times the power of a featherweight. And they go, I want that machine. Don't you have a 404 that you can sell me, Scott? I'll pay top dollar. I have a 404 in my personal collection, but it's not for sale. That's what we're at right now in these final days of this fundraiser to benefit the History Museum down in South Bend, Indiana. I am pulling out every stake that I can for any of you that are either in those states that I've called out, or any of you that are sitting in the shadows saying, I love Scott, I love his work, I believe in causes that he believes in, I'm going to make this happen. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe the next day. Maybe not the next day, but maybe next week. Well, you know what? With this contest now being shortened by a week, from the 22nd of February down to the 15th of February, you can only procrastinate so much longer, and then that opportunity is going to be closed. When that ends on the 15th of February at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, if any of these machines that you see right here have not received a donation, $250, $300, $400, $400. If they haven't received a donation so that they're no longer available, and you come to me after that contest ends on the 15th of February, and you say, Scott, I noticed that 403A did not receive a donation. I'd like to buy it from you. Okay, not a problem. I'll sell it to you, but it's not going to be for $300. Scott, I noticed that 404 did not receive a donation of the $250, which is a steal for a machine like that, especially one of your machines. Your machines are the unicorn machines, Scott. I noticed it didn't receive a donation. I'd like to buy it from you. Can I still get it for $250? Nope. Scott, I noticed that 401A that you were only asking $400 for, and I know that your 401As sell for hundreds of dollars more than that. Can I get that 401A? I saw that it did not receive a donation. Can I get it for $400? Nope. That 503A, the one that you call the sexy machine, the cruise liner machine, the Rocketeer, I noticed that did not get a donation. Can I get that for $400? Nope. So if you want an added incentive beyond already the things that I've outlined, and I think I've outlined them very intelligibly so that they're easy to understand, why you should step forward now. Now! Why you should step forward and take action and not just be a talker and be a walker. And you sure as heck don't want to get one of my cones of shame. You do not want to get one of those cones of shame, because you're better than that. You are better than that. Then step forward right now and make that donation. If you don't want to make a donation for one of these fabulous Slant-O-Matic machines, then make a minimum $100 donation. You're going to get a brick, you're going to get an entry into the contest, and you're going to have the possibility of winning one of my fabulous fully restored machines. Again, behind door number 1, it could be a 222K, the featherweight of featherweights, the featherweight convertible. Or behind door number 2 for sure, it's going to be a 201-2, the Rolls Royce of Singer sewing machines. The same machine that J.D. Oliver and his family have in that mansion in South Bend, Indiana. Millionaires, folks. They could have bought any machine, and they have a 201-2. I mean, it speaks for itself. So, my conscience is clear. I'm not a talker, I'm a walker. And I'm action driven. And that's what I've told all of my students to be as well. Don't be a talker, be a walker. This is your time. I'm calling everyone out that hasn't made a donation. Everyone out that before 5 p.m. Eastern Time on February 15th, which is this coming Monday, you need to step out of the shadows. If it isn't to get one of these fabulous Slant-O-Matic machines, then make a general donation and you'll still get a brick. You'll still get entered into the contest with a single entry. Again, the entry thing is simple. I mean, it's not really simple for me, but it's simple enough for all of you mathematicians. You make a $100 donation, you get 1 entry. For every $50 beyond that, you get an additional entry. Okay? So it's about as simple as falling off a log. It really is. Okay, let me stop my blah, 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 and let's go over and look at these machines closer up. Let's look at these machines closer up. And I'm going to probably put on a little bit of music while we're doing that, just so we've got a little bit of music, because I love music. You know the way I am. You know the way that I am when it comes to music. All right. So once again, if I haven't given you guys enough of a reason to do the right thing yet, this is my last and final gesture, because I believe this passionately about helping these folks down in South Bend, Indiana. And I'm hoping that for those of you that have been sitting on the fence, which by the way is not too comfortable, then you can finally step forward and say, I want this 404, this one right here. I want that machine. It's as simple as making a $250 donation for this fabulous machine. It's as simple as that. $250 and a fully restored 404 from Scott's Workshop is yours. Plus you get a brick, plus you get the appropriate number of entries for a $250 donation, okay? Now we've got this 403A. I get called about this machine all the time, and it's never for sale. Now it's up for donation of $300. $300, this 403A is yours, okay? I get calls all the time about a 401A. With a $400 donation, this 401A is yours. It's that simple. Plus you get a brick, plus you get the appropriate number of entries. And Shelby, thank goodness, is much better at math than I am, so she'll get it right. Last but certainly not least, we have this 503A that I get calls about all the time. And I've told them again and again and again, I've got one in my personal collection. It's not for sale. But for a cause like this to help out my friends down in South Bend, Indiana, I am pulling out all the stakes. I am giving away the store. And for a $400 donation, you get this 503A fully restored. What else can I say? And excuse me, Umi, I apologize for kind of shooting past you, but I also wanted to show you one of the things I love about the 503A is it has an incredible medallion, Singer medallion right on the faceplate right there. I just think that is so doggone cool. All of these Slant-O-Matics are super cool, but I just think that's super crazy cool. So, a fully restored, limited lifetime warranty 503A for only $400. You call Shelby up, you say to Shelby, I want to get that 503A if it's still available. I know that that's the machine that Scott gets calls about regularly and has had it in his personal collection from the original owner and has refused to sell it, but because he believes in your cause, he's giving it up for donation. $400, I want it. Shelby will take your donation, give you the appropriate number of entries, let me know so I can send you a brick, and that machine is yours. It's ready and waiting. 401A, $400 donation, ready and waiting. Appropriate number of entries. Shelby will tell you how many entries you get for that $400 donation. I believe I said 7, right? 7. For both of these two machines, you get 7 entries into the contest. And that took a lot of math for me to figure that one out. So that's the 401A. 403A, a simple $300 donation. You get a fabulous, fully restored, limited lifetime warranty 403A. You get entered into the contest with the appropriate number of entries. I believe I said it was 5. Shelby will tell you if I was right or wrong. Shelby has ultimate veto power. If I got it wrong one way or the other, she'll make it right. So again, a $300 donation for a 403A, it's yours. I won't sell the machine, but I'll put it up as something that you can make a donation on. Plus you get a brick, plus you get entered into the contest as well. And last but certainly not least, this 404, which again is a quilter's dream machine. It's a quilter's dream machine. Just fabulous. For only a $250 donation, it's yours. Plus you get a brick, plus you get entered into the contest with, I believe it's four entries. Roz, if you're in attendance, let me know if I got them all right. Would you type in the chat exactly how many entries folks get? Because Roz is my mathematician. Actually, Emma's really quite good at math too. Either one of those ladies, if they want to check each other and tell me, Scott, yeah, you're right. For a $250 donation, they get 4 entries. For a $300 donation, they get 5 entries. For a $400 donation for either one of these machines, the 401A or the 503A, they're going to get a total of 7 entries. 7 entries. I believe that's right. These ladies will tell me if I'm right or wrong and type it into the chat for me, would you? So folks, this is how I do things. I don't do things haphazardly. And any of you that follow me on Facebook and know that this past weekend, Super Bowl weekend, was a huge celebration for most folks, regardless of which team they had. But it was a real sad time as I remembered the passing of my dad. Passed away 4 years ago. My dad raised me, again, as a Marine. And he said, don't do anything. He said half and then posterior. Don't do something half posterior, but he used a different word. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Don't do things haphazardly, Scott. Do them right or don't do them at all. That's the way I've handled this fundraiser for my friends down in South Bend. That's the way I've done it from beginning to end, and now it's just a different end date. It was going to be the 22nd, now it's the 15th. Okay? I've done it right. My conscience is clear. Now it's up to all of you that have not stepped out of the shadows to do the right thing. To do the right thing. And there's so many incentives to do the right thing. So many incentives. So, again, it's as simple as falling off a log. How many times have I said that? How many times have I said it's as simple as falling off a log? Umi, if it's okay, because you're so tall, I'm going to put this in front of you. That way I don't cover you up like the other folks. But at the same time, folks can see the number that they need to call. And again, the hours at the History Museum for making a donation is Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. Eastern until 5 p.m. Eastern. Those are the hours to call. Dr. Singer, I'm almost kind of cutting your nose off. I apologize for that. So you call again between 10 a.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And again, the contest is now ending on the 15th of February. That's this coming Monday. So you have to call Shelby before Monday, 5:01 p.m. Eastern, because it's going to be too late after that.
So if you just want to make a basic donation, $100. You get entered into the contest. You get a historic 160-year-old brick with a certificate of authenticity. You get one of Paula Noel's super cool tags that's going to get attached to each brick before it gets shipped out. And again, if you haven't gone to Facebook yet and voted on which tag that she made that you like best, please do that. She took the time and is using her own resources to do this because she believes in the cause. She loves what I do. She loves me and appreciates all the things that we're trying to do collectively to try to make this a success for the History Museum. So take a few seconds to go to Facebook and vote on those tags. I think the last time I looked, Emma down in Florida is the only one that stepped out of the shadows and wrote down a real nice comment to give feedback to Paula Noel on which tag she liked best. What about the rest of you? Don't you guys have an opinion on that? I hope you do. Don't you want to chime in? Don't you want to get your vote in on which tag should ultimately be picked and which tag is going to go with each brick? I would. I've already given my opinion. So do that, would you? But first and foremost, give Shelby a call. 574-235-9664. It's so easy. And again, from start to finish, if you make a donation, it takes about 2 or 3 minutes. It's not a huge investment of time. You're not going to be on there like when you call your energy company or you call your own bank about a charge on your account that doesn't make any sense, and they have you on hold for 30 to 45 minutes. Shelby she's a rock star. She's very efficient at what she does. Now, she likes to chat and she likes to visit with folks just as much as anybody else. And if you want to do that, she's more than happy to do that because she is so grateful. All the folks down there from Brian to Christy to Skylar to Kat, everybody else, they are so grateful and they love all of you that have stepped forward out of the shadows and made a donation already. But if you are businesslike and you want to, you're on your lunch and you want to go bump, 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 get it done, she'll bump, bump, bump and get it done for you. I mean, again, it doesn't take long. My personal experience in making a donation, and we chatted a little bit about her being from Michigan originally. I shared that in the last premiere. I was on the phone less than 10 minutes, which is a miracle for me. You guys know how much I blah, blah, blah. And Shelby's a little bit of a blah, blah, blah or too, and I'm saying that with a big smile that she can't see, so I mean that in a very kind way. I love fellow blah, blah, blahs. I really do. But even Shelby and I, when we were, as my father used to say, jawing about all kinds of things, I was on the phone less than 10 minutes. So it's so easy. Make the donation. Call that number. We only have a couple days left in this contest that now ends on the 15th of February at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's it. That's it. That's the end of it at that point. So get your name up on the board. As Shelby contacts me and says, yeah, I've gotten donations for those machines that you generously pulled out of your personal collection, Scott. All 4 of them. I hope Shelby contacts me by email, by phone, by smoke signal, and in the next couple of days said, Scott, all of those Slant-O-Matic machines that you offered for donation that you would not sell from your personal collection, they're gone. They're all gone. And I hope she even blows me away by saying, and one of the persons that realizes the value of your machine, Scott, said $250 is too cheap. This is what I'm donating. $300 is too cheap. This is what I'm donating. $400 is too cheap for those other 2 machines that were shown in that premiere on the far left. This is what I'm donating. Remember, before the new year came, I said, I am resolving to be even more generous in 2021 than I've been in previous years. And I got notes from a number of you people saying, Scott, you blow people away with how generous you are in so many ways. How can you be more generous? How can you be more generous than you've already been in the past? Look on the screen right now. All right. So I'm going to pan over to the number one last time. 574-235-9664. Again, 10 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern for the remaining days of this contest slash fundraiser. And then game over. That's it. That's it. Do not contact me if you didn't make a donation after the contest fundraiser ends at 5:01 p.m. on Monday, February 15th, and say, Scott, can I still get one of those bricks? Don't contact me, because I tend to be very kind. I try to be very, very loving in the way I interact with folks. But you might get a click. You might just get a click if you contact me after the contest fundraiser, when you've had every opportunity to help this great organization and you didn't do it. So don't contact me about a brick. Don't contact me about, again, if you want to contact, okay, here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll say. If all of these machines do not receive a donation, if some of them do, some of them don't, you can contact me again after the contest fundraiser ends on the 15th of February at 5:01 p.m. Eastern. But again, you're not going to get these machines for the donation amount. It's going to be higher than that. I'm just saying. So, all right. So let me do this. And I hate to cover up my friends. I hate to cover my friends up. So I'm going to go by them real quick and just say, hello, Singer Repairman. And I can tell you're cold. I'm cold down here today. So we're going to get you over by that fireplace and get you warmed up. Hello, niece and nephew of Dr. Singer. Hello, Dr. Singer. Hello, Umi. Konnichiwa o genki desu ka? Thank you for holding that sign up so our friends can see what number they need to call. I want to be positive, folks. I really do want to be positive. All of my friends right here know this. Scott is a positive guy, but I am just at a point right now where, with everything that I've offered at this point, with these machines as well that are available now for a donation, and that you can call them your own, I'm exhausted. I'm just worn out. I'm just absolutely worn out. You know, I can't offer you anything else. I can't beg you enough to help these folks out. I can't petition you enough. I can't beseech you enough. I can come up with all kinds of words to say, please, do the right thing. Right, Dr. Singer? Yeah. Right, Reggie? Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm still very positive. I'm just really tired. I'm really tired, and I'm just going, I can't do anything else. If these folks don't believe at this point, if they don't take action at this point, I got nothing. I got nothing left. I've done everything that I can. So I am, Reggie. I'm with you, buddy. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. That's right. That's right. I appreciate you, Reggie. I appreciate you, buddy. Yeah. Mr. Bean, you know what it's about. You know what it's about, my friend. We want to help these folks out. We want them to have a brick. We want all the other things, but we just want them to help out the History Museum. Right here, Obermeister? Right, Captain? Yeah. Even the pirate. Even the pirate's like, yeah, do the right thing, folks. Do the right thing. So I'm going to come out on this shot. We're going to end with some fun music instead of all of my blah, blah, blahing. But again, folks, this new incentive, which I know it's brand new, so I'm going to, like a classroom, I'm going to cover it one last time. One last time, okay? Make a donation of $250 for this 404. Make a donation of $300 for this 403A. Make a donation of $400 either for this 401A or for this 503A. Help out the History Museum, folks. I'm willing to pull machines out of my collection that I never, ever would consider selling. I said no to people more times than I can count on all my fingers and toes. But for a cause like this, they're coming out of my personal collection. Every one of these machines you're looking at right now is an original owner machine. And if you don't know what that means that I bought these machines from the original person that bought the machine brand new. These are not machines that came from a rummage sale or some other hanky place like that. These are machines that came from the original owner. I know the history. There was one owner that bought them, and I was the second owner. And you can be the third owner. And again, the machines are fully restored, limited lifetime warranty. You get the appropriate number of entries for the machine, plus you get a brick. Most importantly, you help out the History Museum in South Bend, Indiana. Okay? All right, let me put on some music. Let's wrap up this premiere. Let's wrap this premiere up. I'm just looking for a fun song to put on here. Yeah, I wasn't planning on blues, but this'll work. Yeah. Little bit of blues. Little bit of blues. All right, I'm gonna cover my friends up for just a moment. Cover my friends up. Making sure this doesn't fall. All right, so once again, I'm just going to come off the tripod to show you, because this is really, 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 really important. Let me also put this up here so that we can look at it as well, if I don't tear it. All right, it's not completely straight, but just turn your head to the side, if that helps. So once again, because this is a classroom setting, and since this is the end of the class, I just want to highlight again, we started this campaign for the History Museum on Monday, February 1st, which interestingly was National Freedom Day. And originally we were going to go through the week of the 8th, which we did. And we're going to go through the entire week of the 15th and then end on the 22nd. Not anymore. We're now ending this fundraising contest on February 15th, which means by the time this premiere airs, it'll probably air and we'll present it live on the 10th of February. 10th of February, which is Wednesday. You're going to have Wednesday the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, and then finally the 15th to make a donation to the History Museum to get entered into the contest, to help them out, and to get a brick. If you don't make a donation by 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the 15th, game over. Game over. So again, it's super easy. You just call that number right there. So you can join all these other champions right over here. Join all these other champions. Join Sunny, Paula Noel, Emma B. Join Scott, Emily and Veronica from Texas, Brian from Louisiana, Doc Roger out in New Mexico, Roz from Michigan, Louie and Sandra from California, Gloria, also known as Gigi, from Georgia. Did I already say Louie and Sandra from California? I'm pretty sure I did, yeah. Paula Ann from Florida. I call her Pam. And then last but certainly not least, Annette from the great state of Texas. You can join all of these champions. Please do that. Whether you want to make a direct donation to Shelby, or whether you want to make a donation with the idea of scooping up one of those fully restored original owner Slant-O-Matic machines by making a simple donation. And again, just by calling this number right there. Just by calling that number right there. And you only have now until the 15th of February 2021. That's it. We are no longer going to the 22nd. So make that donation today. Don't put it off. We all get busy. All you have to do is put your life on pause for a minute or so. and Shelby will take care of you. She's a rock star. She'll get it done, and you'll be so happy that you did. You'll be so happy that you stepped onto the shadows and that you made it happen. So do that, would you? Do that. All right, let's end with our regular music now, because that was almost like a chill music. I want to pump everybody up again. I want to pump everybody up again. All right. So the alarm going off again right now is to remind you that the contest no longer ends on the 22nd. It ends on the 15th. Time is running out. Time is running out, folks. Make it happen. Make it happen! And thank you.